All right, let's bring in Brian Kingston there. He's the president and the CEO of the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association. He is in Ottawa today. Brian, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
So lots going on. You heard it there from our correspondent in Ottawa. You know, you got the Chinese EV factor, you've got the Stellantis factor, you've got the Trump factor, you've got the Ottawa, factor with Mark Carney. Can I ask you about the Chinese and what you make of this idea of, hey, if you lift the tariffs against our EVs and allow Chinese electric vehicles to be sold in Canada tariff-free or perhaps much less tariffed, then we will lift our tariffs on agricultural products like canola?
Well, I think the Prime Minister said it correctly. It's not that simple. You cannot simply exchange a removal of EV tariffs for access to the Chinese market for canola. First of all, that cannot even be contemplated in this current environment. We have aligned our policy with the United States. We've put a 100% tariff in place, and we're at a very sensitive point in discussions with the Americans on our broader trading relationship. Canada and the auto industry depends and always will depend on our access to the United States. If we threaten that relationship by doing something and opening the door to China, our broader economy is going to be at severe risk. Secondly, you cannot allow these vehicles, Chinese vehicles, into the Canadian market full stop, because it will have a huge impact on our automotive industry. This is not a fair fight. China has subsidized this industry to the tune of $230 billion US. This does not allow for a level playing field. And so we cannot allow this Chinese economic model where they build massive domestic capacity and then dump the excess vehicles into other markets. That would be a very poor decision for Canada, for the auto industry, and for our economy.
All right, how about Carney with carmaker Stellantis and that company's commitment to staying in the Canadian market? Brian, obviously a lot of questions as a result of what's happening with future production, the Ford Compass going down to Illinois. Your take?
Well, look, the industry is under a great deal of pressure right now, and this is all because of the tariff action that has been taken by the United States. The estimate coming from the Center for Automotive Research is that U.S.-based manufacturers will be facing about $188 billion in tariff costs over the next 3 years. So in that environment, companies are making difficult decisions around how to structure their supply chains and ensure that they can continue to operate in North America. So what do we do here in Canada to deal with this? We've got to take three actions. First of all, we have to reduce the existing tariffs and ideally remove them on Canadian automotive, those Section 232 tariffs. They have to go. We have to renew our CUSMA trade agreement because that is creating huge uncertainty for investment decisions. And remember, auto is a very long lead time industry. They need the certainty that that deal is going to be renewed and will remain in place. And then the third action is to focus on what we can control at home. We have a federal EV mandate that is putting billions of dollars of costs on manufacturers that build cars right here in Canada. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of these regulations that are damaging a sector at the worst possible time. So that's has to be the priority of government if we're going to protect this sector and protect these jobs.
Hey, Brian, I appreciate you taking the time for CTV News today, joining us here on News Channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Kingston, the president and CEO of the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association.